Hi guys, it's Alexa, and today I am bringing you a Top 10 Tuesday video. In case you didn't already know, Top 10 Tuesday is hosted by the Broken the Bookish, and every week they give you a new topic for which you can pick 10 books or whatever they may be asking you about to share. And I used to do this on my blog a lot, but then I've started doing a few videos recently, and today the topic was one that I could not resist making into a video, and it's basically going to be the best 2016 releases that you've read so far. As per usual with like all these Top 10 Tuesday things, I kind of cheated. It's just I've been reading so many great books and I wanted to share them all, so I'm gonna quickly run through them in this video. So I guess we should start with the debut books that I read this year that I absolutely adored, and these are all obviously in no particular order. I just wanted to say that before I continued. The Square Root of Summer by Harriet, Reuter, Hapgood, and I really enjoyed this one. It's about a girl named Jodi, and she basically finds herself kind of time traveling, which is unexpected, and what I liked about this one was because it was one girl's story. She was dealing with grief and she was dealing with growing up and stuff like that, but we also kind of had some scientific things thrown into it, which I found fascinating, even though I will tell you that I am nowhere near understanding time travel or any of the things explained in that book. But yeah, I really enjoyed that one. The second book that I wanted to mention is actually one that I read this month, and it is Summer of Sloane by Erin Schneider. And this is basically about a girl named Sloane who finds out at the very beginning of the book that her best friend and her boyfriend have been keeping a secret from her. She is so angry and so sad and so disappointed. So it's actually a good thing that she is off on her annual summer trip with her twin brother to Hawaii to visit their mom and their stepdad. And while she's in Hawaii, Sloane kind of makes peace with what has happened, tries to move on, and she kind of experiences some things with her friends who she's known forever in Hawaii, and also with a new boy named Finn. And I thought it was really good, it was really compelling, and I really enjoyed that one as well. The next book that I want to mention is a very cute contemporary that came out this year, The Distance from A to Z by Natalie Blitt, and that book was just so cute. So it's about a girl named Abby and a boy named Zeke, and their paths actually cross because they're both enrolled in a summer French program. And I love the French lessons and the French bits. It was so cute. And I really also like the budding friendship and romance between Abby and Zeke, and you guys definitely should read that one if you haven't yet. The next debut I want to mention is The Only Thing Worse Than Me Is You by Lily Anderson, and this is a YA contemporary retelling of Much Ado About Nothing by Shakespeare. And I really enjoyed this one. There are a lot of nerdy references because all of the characters are basically nerds who go to a special school for geniuses. And the main character is named Trixie, and she's basically trying to continue her rivalry with a guy named Ben, who she's known for like years, only it's kind of hard for them because their two best friends, his best friend and her best friend, end up dating, and they kind of have to start hanging out more together, and they kind of become friends and realize that, you know, they do have a lot in common and all of that, and it was just super cute, and I really enjoyed this one. The next debut that I'm going to mention is one that I have mentioned fairly frequently recently, and that is The Crown's Game by Evelyn Skye. Oh my goodness, I absolutely adored this book. It is inspired by Imperial Russia, and basically the concept of the book is that there are two enchanters, one named Vika and one named Nikolai, and they have to compete in the Crown's Game, which is a duel, to decide who would be the Imperial Enchanter. And the thing is, the one who wins becomes the Imperial Enchanter, and the one who loses dies. And it's so good. It's a very unexpected form of magic, and I absolutely enjoyed it, and I can't wait for the sequel. I also really found this next book, this debut, to be really unique, and I think it's very interesting to read, and like it's something different, and that is Ive Rainbow N by Jodi. It's basically set in the prehistoric era, which is something I have never really read, and it's about a boy named Cole, and he's kind of being groomed to be the leader of his tribe in the future. He actually meets two girls. One is named Lo, and the other girl is named Maya. These two girls do not like each other, and there are reasons for that, and this book basically explores the history between the two girls, Cole's feelings for both of them, and like his experience with both of them, and it's really a compelling story, and the details about the prehistoric era were really great. And the last debut novel that I wanted to mention is Even If the Sky Falls by Mia Garcia, and you guys have seen that I've mentioned this quite a few times. It is basically the story of a girl named Jules who is with her church group, like a Habitat for Humanity type church group in New Orleans, and she basically escapes from the mall and finds herself in the middle of Midsummer Mardi Gras, and it's sort of like she's running away because she's trying to deal with the stuff that she left behind at home, And yeah, on this magical night, she meets a boy, and yeah, things happen, but then everything changes when a hurricane comes to town. I just really enjoyed this one. What I particularly loved about it was it felt like a movie while I was reading it, and I also really liked the way that the author made the setting come to life. Okay, those were all the debut novels I wanted to mention. Now we are gonna talk about other books. Next book I want to talk about is My Lady Jane by Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Jodi Meadows. And if you guys don't know yet, this is a historical, fantastical retelling of the life of Lady Jane Grey. And I think it's just such a fun, witty, entertaining ride when you read this. There's so much humor in this one, and I just enjoyed it. It was actually the very first book that I read this year, and I absolutely loved it. Next book I want to mention is One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and once again, this lady has blown me away with her ability to write a story centered around a theme that, you know, challenges me to think. This is basically the story of a girl named Emma, and she is married to her high school sweetheart, Jesse. On their first wedding anniversary, Jesse is away on a work trip, and he actually disappears when his plane goes down over the Pacific Ocean. And Emma is forced to deal with that, to deal with the grief and loss of him. And eventually things change, and she reunites with this old friend she had named Sam, and sparks fly, and she kind of falls in love with him as well. And she's actually engaged to be married to him when all of a sudden Jesse is found. And it's basically Emma having to deal with the conflict of what it means to have true love, and if you can have true love more than once in a lifetime, and I really, really enjoyed it. Next book I want to mention is What You Always Wanted by Kristen Ray, and this is basically the story of a theater girl named Maddie who moves to a new school. So Maddie has a type, her type is Gene Kelly, and she's determined to find someone, a boy like that in her real life, and when she meets Jesse Morales, she knows that he's not her type because he's a jock. I'm muddling this up. Anyway, it's really hard for me to explain this book. I just really enjoyed this one because once again, there's like more substance to it. It's not just a cute, fluffy romance. I liked seeing Maddie form friends and attend this new school, and like this developing thing between her and Jesse was really sweet too. And it ends on such a cute note. And then we have another contemporary, When We Collided by Emery Lord. This is the story of Vivi and Jonah and the summer that their paths in life intersect when Vivi is in town for vacation, and I think it's one of the most vibrantly written, interesting stories that I've read this year. I found it very compelling to read about Vivi, who is dealing with mental illness, and Jonah, who's dealing with grief and the responsibility he has had to shoulder since his father's death. And it's just so good, guys, so good. I love this book. And I also wanted to mention The Shadow Queen by C.J. Redwine, which is still one of my favorite fantasies that I've read this year. It is basically a Snow White retelling, and in this one, Snow White is actually a fighter. Lorelai and her brother are determined to win back their kingdom from the queen who has taken over, and along the way they encounter this guy named Cole, and yeah, it's just such a great twist on Snow White. I mean, like, I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but it's just amazing, and I really, really, really like this one. I can't wait for the next one. It's part of a series, but apparently the series are companion novels, so you can treat it like it's a standalone. And special shout out goes to a manga series that I recently just finished, and it is called Orange, and it's by Ichigo Takano, and this is the book too, and these are recommended to me by Kristen of Super Space Chick, and oh my goodness, I'm gonna count them because technically these bind-ups are released this year. Oh my god, it's so good. Anyway, it's about a girl named Naho, and she's in her second year of high school when one day she receives a letter from her future self, and it gives her instructions on how to save one of her new friends in her school year, and oh my god, it's so good. I love the friendships, the characters are so fun, and like, it's just such a fun shoujo manga. It's just so, like, I got very invested in the outcome of this story, and it's so interesting because it's like contemporary where there's just a hint of sci-fi with the whole like receiving a letter from herself in the future, and I absolutely adored it. I just tore through this in one night, guys, so really good. So thanks, Kristen, for the rec. And there you have it. Those are my top 2016 releases that I've read so far this year. There are a lot of releases that I'm looking forward to towards the end of the year, so I hopefully will be sharing another one of these videos in December. Alright guys, if you want to find me on other social media, all my links are down below. I would also really, really love it if you give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and if you would subscribe to my channel. Alright guys, till next time, bye!